Good morning. I There we go. I'm going live on LinkedIn and Instagram, starting a little bit early so the people can get into the room and welcome you all in. Let's see here. So I was excited to kick off this series yesterday on elevating your executive presence. And while I'm getting all these tech components together, I want to welcome you all in to the video, the live stream this morning. If you can just drop in the comments where you are joining me from, I would love to know where you're coming in from while I continue to get this phone set up. Good morning. We're going to give us about another minute to allow people to join. All right. Here we go. And happy Tuesday to each of you. Okay. Good morning, Bronze Bella from Miami. Great to have you on here with me this morning. And we are also live on LinkedIn right now. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right. So, everyone, welcome back to part 2 of a 9-part series on elevating your executive presence. I talked to you yesterday. We got started in this conversation, and I'm really eager to get into all of these components that we are going to be covering today and through the rest of this series. I'm Carlisha Bradley. I'm the founder and CEO of Amplify for Women. I'm a high performance women's leadership coach, and I have over a decade of experience of leading organizations to transformational outcomes. But I've also supported women, girls and women literally around the world on their journey to elevate their executive presence. I've supported over 9,000 women in 23 countries to date and continue to grow in this effort. I am deeply passionate about supporting women to amplify their voices, hone in on their public speaking skills to accelerate their career and their business. So, in this series, as we've unpacked elevating your executive presence, I shared with you yesterday, like these principles of what really is executive presence, right? We talked about it, and I told you guys that this is not about respectability politics. Respectability politics is when a marginalized group of people tends to take apart or remove themselves away from cultural aspects of their identity to fit in or to assimilate with the viewpoint, the ideas, or the behaviors of the majority. That's not what we're doing here. At Amplify for Women, I am all about authenticity, about building your brand and your voice, but that is all to be deeply rooted in who you really are, who you are to the deepest core of what you value, what you believe, and your cultural identity. So we talked about executive presence, and I gave you these 4 C's, which were confidence, communication, connection, and character. Yesterday, I unpacked for you that confidence is your belief in yourself. It's when you walk into that room and you own the space that you're in. You step in and you have this unwavering ability to not shrink in the face of others, right? Communication is your ability to articulate your ability to articulate your value and your vision. The third C was connection, and connection has to do with your ability for people to draw in and follow you. How do you connect? And a lot of this goes right into communication. Like, how are you communicating your values? How are you communicating your vision? And the last C that we talked about yesterday was character. Character is what you believe in, but more importantly, it's how you live those beliefs. Confidence, communication, connection. Thanks for dropping those in the chat, Bronze Bella. Yes. And that last C is character. And so with character, I gave you all a gift yesterday. If you weren't here for the live yesterday and you want this resource and tool, as we were talking about values, I mentioned a resource for those who join the live that allows for you to begin to unpack your values, to begin to unpack those and align that with your why. Like, how are you going to walk this out and live it on a day to day? If you're interested in getting that tool, comment values in this live and it will be sent directly to your DMs. But the tool for me is an essential starting point. It's a starting point with clients because it is so critical to be rooted in why you believe what you believe. What do you really stand for? If you want to stand out in this game of leadership, people need to know what you believe and to be able to count on the fact that you are walking in those values. So, actually, that tool is an essential element for the next part of this series. I'll continue to build on these topics. But don't forget to comment values if you're interested in accessing that tool. All right, so let's jump into what we're talking about today. I love the topic that we're talking about today. And this is a topic that has been a piece of my career journey. So, we're talking about how to raise more money with these 3 proven tips. I'm speaking to people specifically whose your personal brand is in alignment and is dependent upon the growth of your business or organization that you're leading. I'm talking to founders and executive leaders who how you show up in your personal brand is going to impact the growth of your organization. If you are someone who is a founder or an executive leader, just type "that's me" in the comments. Type "that's me" in the comments because what I'm about to share today is for you, sis. Okay. So for me, I mentioned to you that I have been an executive leader for over a decade. I have been a social impact executive leader, to be precise. And in my career, I have raised and managed over $15 million for working in education, girls' leadership development, supporting youth, and also supporting other organizations on their fund development journey. So when we get into this business about how to raise money and how to influence and how to let your executive presence carry you to the next level, I've been there, I've done it. I have the battle wounds because I was not always knocking it out of the park. But I want to give you insight so that you can get there faster than I did. All right. If you are ready for this information, go ahead and drop some hearts on this feed or likes if you're if you're on LinkedIn. But for some of you, as you enter into fund development, you might be someone who you're deeply passionate about the work. You obviously are if you're willing to go out there and to raise funds or that you started the business, but you might be having some frustration because your vision when you built the business, it might not be translating to fund development. Your vision when you started the role as the executive director or the senior leader of funding for the organization that you're leading, you're like, I know the work, I know what we're doing. People should be investing in this, and it might not be translating to fund development. You could be very passionate about what you're leading, but you could be really burnt out on executive leadership. Okay. There are parts of executive leadership and being a founder that you just are like, I didn't know that this is what I signed up for. I was passionate about the work, not this behind the scenes fundraising operations piece. And so, what you might be experiencing or desiring right now is to find that joy back in your work, to find that joy. Can everyone else hear me? I see you, Daisy, that said you can hear me, but there's no sound. So, if you can hear me on Instagram, go ahead and type in the chat that I can hear you because I need to know that. But, Daisy, thank you so much for letting me know. And I want to make sure that the volume is on and the mic is on so that everybody can hear what I've been saying. All right. So, what you may be experiencing if you're one of those founders or one of those executive leaders is that you want joy back in the work that you're doing. You want to be able to get back into the space where, all right, okay, you can hear me. Great. So I clicked out of that. I went in to make sure that you could hear me. You might have heard an echo for a second, but you can hear me. Excellent. So you may be an executive leader or a founder who is in the space where you want to find the joy in your work. You want to get back to why you started this, but you also want to communicate more clearly about the impact that you're doing. And you want to have a shot to share more. Like you want people to be interested. You want to have those follow up conversations. Well, here's the part where you take out a pen and begin to take notes because I'm going to tell you why you have hit that block of frustration and what it is that you need to be doing to unlock the levers to raise more and to truly upgrade your executive presence. So, again, those 4 C's of executive presence are confidence, communication, connection, and character. Character is deeply aligned to your values. If you have not gotten the free resource that I've been giving out in this series, be sure to comment values so that that can be sent to your inbox. So let's dig into the reason why you're experiencing this frustration. This is a quick statement and I will unpack it, but it's important that you understand it. The reason you are experiencing frustration and even burnout with executive leadership and fund development is because a lot of times people are not flipping on this key switch. People don't invest in businesses. People don't invest in organizations. People invest in people. People invest in people, period. Some of the biggest checks, donations, or opportunities or doors that opened for me were because of a direct connection and investment in me. And many times, as the founder, or especially as a social impact leader, we're so deeply connected to mission that we fail to talk about ourselves. Here's the thing that you need to be doing. And for some of you, you might be like, what? This is what I need to do? Yes, this is what you need to do. You need to talk about yourself more. You need to elevate your executive presence and your brand and really show up as the leader and talk about yourself more. Now let me tell you what these 3 tips are, because as you're entering into these conversations, the first thing that you need to be doing is that you need to start with why. Why does this matter? Why does this organization or business exist? What is the problem that you're solving? Why is this relevant? You need to be able to hook people with that information. But also, your next step is to connect that why into why you're doing this work. Again, talk about you as the founder, as the executive leader. Give me a glimpse of your story to be able to put together a powerful pitch so that I can leave feeling connected to who you are, understanding like why this is important to you, and also being able to be invested in the credibility of your leadership, knowing that you are a credible leader, someone that I can bet on, someone that I can give these resources to, and know that my investment is going to be stewarded and grow tenfold. These are the key components. Start with why. Tell your signature story. And number 3, from doing these things, you should be building connections. And when I say build connections, it's not just in that first conversation. No. When you're building connections and you're on this path for fund development, how are you following up? How are you sending like the notes, the thoughtful text messages about, hey, this article came across my desk and I thought about you? Or how are the kids doing? Or here's, an update on what's happening with me. How are things in your world? Don't make it so one-sided. So when you're wanting to elevate your executive presence and really implement these 3 C's to grow your brand, to grow your business, to grow your executive leadership, you're going to have to stop getting right into, hey, here's the stats, here's what we're doing, here's where we're growing, here's what. People want to know why. You need to get people to listen to you by starting with why. Why does this even matter? Next, we're going to get into how you tell your signature story. That is something I absolutely love to support leaders with and to support them through is how to use our signature 4P framework in creating and selling your signature story. This is a framework that I coach clients in using, whether it is for a pitch, for fund development, whether it is for keynotes, you are stepping on the stage. It is a powerful framework and a way in which I have seen the confidence and clarity of women go through the roof, as well as their earning potential after using it. And lastly, we talked about building connections. How are your relationships truly genuine? You're circling the block and following up with people so that you can be a leader whose executive presence is elevated, but also understanding that your personal brand is what is also going to take your business to the next level. So, I mentioned a few things and resources for you on this call today. I talked about our live stream from yesterday about the values resource. If you did not get it, type values in the chat so that that can be sent to your DMs. It was important to me to make this tool very user friendly. So, it is not one of those fancy PDFs that are beautifully branded, but you can't type in them. And since I'm a tech girly, I like to go ahead and get going and use the tools that are sent to me. It is going to be a Google Doc that you can use and copy and implement in your life right away. I strongly encourage you, especially as you're starting this new year, to start with why. That was my top point from today, to start with why. And the values tool will allow for you to do that. So drop values in the chat if you are interested in receiving that tool. And also keep in mind that this is a series. So I will be back. It's a 9-part series. Today was day 2 at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time every single morning. If you have questions for me, if you want more information, you can feel free to DM me because I do answer those questions on our live streams. Hi, mixed hair for you. I see that you type value in the chat. Type values. Make sure you put an S on it so that I can ensure that that tool gets into your inbox. So if you could just type that one more time. Hey T, I see you on here. Hi Audrey. Hi Don. Daisy, I'm glad you're back in and can hear. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining this morning. I also mentioned to you that I am a high performance women's leadership coach. I specialize in elevating your executive presence through the art of public speaking, professional branding to enhance your career and to accelerate your business. So if you're interested in learning more about working with me, working with Amplify for Women, you can click the link in our bio to schedule a call with me for us to chat and to talk more about your goals and to see if I'm a good fit to support you on your journey. But again, I hope that you all have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning, same time, same place for part 3 of elevating your executive presence. And tomorrow, we're getting into a topic that you all raved about in December that I had to come back again to give more tools and tips for. But tomorrow's topic is how to say no as an executive leader to focus on your deeper yes. Tomorrow's topic changed the game for me. It is the reason why I'm living and leading in the lane that I am. And I can't wait to share that gift with you. So, again, I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye.